Hello everyone and welcome back to the next tutorial. Maybe you've seen the making of the pauldron, maybe not. It doesn't matter because today we are going to rig this pauldron as part of clothing. So, first steps first, we are going to transfer with the transfer utility tool the pauldron onto Genesis to female as a clothing. We're going to say this is a full body thing because we don't really have pauldron as an option. Okay, so far so good. She wears it. If I move my Genesis to female, then the pauldron moves with her, so we're almost good, but not quite. Let me show you the problem that is occurring. So, let's say we're going to post Genesis to female, or any figure really, because this works for any figure. Okay, so I've chosen the neck, and let's say we twist her neck, and as you can see, okay, this doesn't work, the pauldron is already distorting. Yeah, if I move the head, same problem. If I move the arm, same problem. If I move the shoulder, same problem. Okay, so we gotta fix that, and we're going to use part of what we did with the hair. So this is basically similar to the hair rigging, but on a different scale. We got our pauldrons. We're going to parameters first. We are going to display this one here, and we are making the bones of the figure visible, which means we can see all the bones that our pauldron has. And as you can see, there's a lot of bones we don't actually need. This is just part of that, creating more bone than we need just to be on the safe side, because could be it's relevant. Yeah, for example, let's say I'm moving the lower jaw. Yeah, could be this is relevant for whatever we have set up here. Okay, and we're going to our tool settings. We are going to the geometry editor first, and we are grabbing our pauldrons. And as you can see, we have chest area, we have head area, we have left collar, which is around here, which is fine. We have left pectoral, which is fine. We have neck part, which yeah, it happens, and we have the right collar, which we will mostly work on. Okay, so we have a lot of bones we don't need, and we will deal with that in a bit. Step 1. Which parts do we want on the shoulder? We want the neck on the shoulder. We want the head on the shoulder. No, that's okay. And what we are doing is, so basically we want all of the pauldron on the shoulder, but we don't want everything on the chest. So we can't just click and add this, because then we would also add all of the front. So what we are doing is, I'm just choosing this so you can see the pluses. If I click on the plus, then I select this area. If I click on the minus, then I deselect this area. Okay, what we're going to do is, you can see that I can right now choose the mesh, and we're going to drag a line above all these parts. Make sure you get everything at least once. Oh, wait. You need to hold control actually for this one, my bad. And now we are going to hit Control, Shift and Asterisk, which selects all the connected vertices. So basically we have now the whole pauldron, but nothing else. And we are going to set this to the right color, which is now all on the color bone. Or, which is all on the color face. We are going to delete all the faces that we don't need. As you can see, head and neck are completely absorbed. We remove the selected groups. We don't need those anymore. And now, what we basically did is just we said, okay, the whole thing is part of the color. That's it. Okay. Next step is to actually go into the joint editor, and we are going to delete all the bones that we don't need. So in your scene tab, right click again, possible polygons, expand from selected, which just opens the whole thing up, and you can already see this is way too much bones. We're going to go from top to bottom, delete bone, delete bone, delete bone. Why the hell does this have eye bones? And do this very carefully. So for example, I'm deleting the right forearm bone, but and the left forearm bone definitely, but that's about it. I will leave the rest. I mean, I could just leave this with the, I mean, I could probably delete the right shoulder on this model, but I am not 100% sure on that, as well as for the pectoral bones, so I'm going to keep them for now. I mean, I can still delete them later on, but better have a few unused bones than having to start over again. Okay, this looks a lot better, and what we are going to do next is you're going into the node weight map brush, right click, weight editing, fill by bone selection groups, weight editing, fill selected. No, we're not going to do that. So by filling by bone selection group basically means the mesh that is set to a set to a face group, and the face group is set to a bone, and basically we just said if you move the bone, move the whole thing. So basically we reset all the mesh to the bone because we changed this previously. Right now, if I grab my Genesis 2 female and I'm going to move her, you can see that this kind of works. No, I wanted this one, thanks. But it's still kind of tears a little bit. So what we're going to do, we are going to check up in the pauldrons on the weight. we're going to check on the weight maps. So what we have here, actually, I don't want to have this selected right now. We're going to check on these selections. So right now, what these maps do, these weight maps here, is basically they tell the model, they tell the mesh how far it is moving or distorting when the underlying bone is moved. So basically, what this does is it tells the mesh how to behave. Okay, and you can see there's different colors, which I will explain now. Okay, so there's 3 different dimensions, X, Y, and Z. And there's always a rotation. So basically, when I move the bone, the body moves with it. And as you can see, right now, the bone is moved, and the give me a second. I'm going to make the bones off again. What you can see is that there is like a really big clipping problem between the pauldron and the strap on it, and we want to rectify that. But I can't just set the whole strap to something. This wouldn't work. So we're going to have to go into a bit more detail. And what we are going to do is we're going into the tool settings, node weight wrap brush, node weight map brush, my bad. We are going to select a bone, which gives us the coloring. And now we have this kind of brush setting. Inner radius is 10 and outer radius is 40, and sensitivity just means, so basically, before I explain sensitivity, let me explain the colors. Red means 100% full on move. Blue means move a little but not too much. Yeah, for example here. Red means it moves a lot with the bone, and blue means it moves a bit with the bone. So basically what we want to do have on the other side is the same as here. Yeah, that when I move the bone, that the rest is moving a bit with it. Yeah, I want to have the actually no. What I want to have is the strap move with the right shoulder. So I'm going to get to the chest, and you can see that this is set really strongly. And what we're going to have to do is basically set the whole thing fully to the color. So basically we're going to take our brush and brush the whole thing, and you can already see that this is moving while you brush, because what we're doing is basically in real time telling the whole thing model how to behave when I move the bones. So you can do this in different stages. You can basically do it like I'm doing it right now with a low sensitivity setting. You can just ramp that up and say, okay, everything is red now, I don't care. You can also find some in-between setting that works for you without breaking too much of your model. In this case, I will just ramp this up to 100%. And yeah, paint my model. And you can see that this is basically uncrumbling the model partially. And partially it is crumbling it again. You can see the blue area is basically where the crumbles happen. This is in between the two areas. So what we're going to do is we're going to set this to 0.45. We're going into the right again, and we're going to try to give it a blue part of the in the intersecting part, which isn't really working that well. So yeah, this is a bit complex. Yeah, but overall, you can just basically paint the whole model. You can also make Genesis to Female invisible, if this helps with the whole painting thing. Just make sure that if you paint, you don't like paint accidentally over the whole thing. You can control the at any time to to undo your last stroke. Yeah, and what we're doing is basically right now I'm painting the whole model red, so that it moves with the desired position of the bone, so that basically when I move the shoulder, the whole pauldron moves and not just part of the pauldron, so it doesn't get crumbled up. Which is still a bit problematic. We're also going to go into the belt or the strap in a second and adjust that. But yeah, this is basically what we're doing. Painting the whole model. Okay. Let's go into geometry settings. And what we're going to do is we are going to grab the whole part, or grab this part of the of the strap, and we are going to add this, assign this to the color. Going to web brush, weight editing, fill bone by selection group, and now you can see that this is already moving because we set the we moved the bone. So this is basically moving with the bone, just accentuating this a bit. So right now, assigning faces to groups does nothing, but I just have to go into node weight map brushing and fill them by selection group, which yeah, actualizes the whole thing. Going back into the chest actually, and painting this area a bit more for the chest so it moves better with the chest. And as you can see right now, I'm crumbling this by painting this for the chest again. So basically what we want is the right level of uncrumbling here. Which isn't that easy to achieve. This is just this is just a thing of time. Basically, just find the right amount of time to do this. And this will always, I mean, unless you spend hours on working your pauldron and or your clothing and painting these with Menaisha, or there's some secret trick I don't know about, which there probably is. Yeah. Basically, we are painting this fully red at this point. I mean, I'm painting this full red because it is metal, and metal doesn't really bend with the human body unless it is very weak metal, very soft metal. In which case it may do, but in general metal will not bend together with the body. But yeah. Okay, so far so good. Let's check the bulge on the right. As you can see, there's we still gotta work all this down. If you do this on like a fabric or something, I suggest using a lower sensitivity, so that it actually doesn't completely stay in the shape you have it in. But this is basically something you have to just try and then see how it works. I'm just basically showing you in this tutorial where the tools are and what they do, and in what order basically they are used, how to actually do this, like in pointy detail is a bit of a self-discovery thing. It's not like, I mean, I'm showing you as best as I can. I'm still learning this myself to a point, especially with the rigging and the clothing rigging. But I think this is part of the tutorial anyway. Okay. We've painted the whole thing. Let's see how this turned out. I just hope that it works as intended. Okay. So, I'm going to move this, and yeah, you can see that, well, I move this, the whole thing crumbles. This is because we worked on the model without saving and reapplying it. So as soon as I'm saving this as a prop and then reapplying it to the figure, it will move more smoothly. Wow. I'm sorry for the pronunciation. Okay, you can see that there's still a lot of crumbling on the belt, so we'll have to look into that. But for now, when we move the shoulder, it moves. When I move the neck, it doesn't move. When I move the head, it doesn't move. And when I move the shoulder, or the elbow in this case, but a stable shoulder, then it doesn't move. They're still clipping, obviously, so you'll basically have to work a bit of detail. So basically, if you have so if you have clipping like this, let's twist. Okay, for clipping like this, what you can do is you go into the right collarbone of the actual model and you like untwist this, which can help, but you will always have a bit of clipping with this, so oh, holy shit, don't worry about this too much. Okay, fixing little stuff like this, for example, is a partial thing. So basically we're going back into the node wave map brush. Okay, and we are, oh yeah, right, okay. So apparently at some point what now? Okay. We have to see what rotation is not properly set up here. And this is usually done by just clicking through the different, basically choose the bone that you're working on, and click through the different maps until you find the map that is where the colors are not like they are supposed to be, and you will usually find your culprit rather quickly. And in this case, we're probably going to use a bit. Don't fully paint this, and instead go a bit softer, so that it actually looks a bit more natural, even though there's still crumbling and stuff happening. Okay. yeah, there's always the trial of making sure that you don't accidentally paint on a part of the model you don't want. Okay. Ah, here we go. It's the Z bulge right, which is moving our model in an interesting way. Okay, that does nothing. Ah, and the X rotation wasn't fully set. Just wondering about this part here. Hard to say what is actually broken. Maybe it's chest can't be, right shoulder. Ah, okay, it's apparently the right shoulder. Interesting. Why is there still... Okay, so apparently we're going back into the okay, there's nothing set to the shoulder. The shoulder bone is empty. It doesn't have a group. Okay. Yeah. Try to find out what's going on here. Brush, okay. Actually, I have no idea how to remove painting. Shift doesn't work. Control works. Okay. So basically, holding control while painting will reverse the effect, I guess. Interesting, I didn't know that until now. Huh! Yeah, this will happen sometimes, that the model will just flip on you. Okay, no, nothing happens. Okay, let's just see what happens if we just paint this like fully red for the shoulder. I mean, can always start over. This is one of the benefits of working with 3D models on a computer. Okay, now if I grab the right color and I'm moving the color of my okay, so it still moves. What happens if I use the right shoulder? Okay, so there's still some stuff moving. At this point, I probably should delete the shoulder bone just to see what happens. So move. Okay, and I guess we've solved our problem. This is what I mean with sometimes you just delete the bones later on. So yeah, let's grab Genesis to female. This looks painful. Restore figure pose. Okay, this is the base figure and the base setting. And yeah, we can already see. Oh, right. We grab the pauldron and we reset the figure pose of the pauldron, which reset the pauldron. All right. And now we're going to grab our genders to female, right color. And as we can see, okay, we probably shouldn't bend this upwards. This works. Okay. Yeah, it still distorts, but that's okay. And what happens if we move the shoulder? Let's just bend the shoulder. As we can see, perfect. Nothing happens. The model stays as it is. But at this point, we can basically grab the pauldron surfaces. Yeah, let me show you how I made the new and slightly improved textures. Basically grabbing everything that is going to be metal, or grabbing the pauldron and the plating edges for now. We're going into presets, shaders, Iray. I'm going to make an explanation in the next tutorial for what this is. Metal and metal gold. Going back into the editor, base color will be white. Going into textures and grab our metallics texture. For the clasp, we are going to brushed metal and leaving it like it is. For the belt, we're going into leather and leaving it like it is. And for the crystal plating, we are going to make this diamond crystal. Base color will be white with a new texture that I made. We also need to set this to glossy, and we're going to set the base bump with this. We're going to set this to 0.2, and yeah, that's basically what I changed. I probably should give the the metal a bump as well. Okay, wait, which is it? Brushed A. Okay. Base bump, brushed A, setting this to 1, and that's it. That's basically what I did. I'm going to explain the whole presets and difference in texture next time. For a quick view, this is what it looks like now with the new textures, if you render it in Iray. Okay. And finally, we are going to file, save as figure prop asset, game crusted pauldron, set category, wardrobe, armor, torso, and we're hitting accept. And now, if I delete this, oh, I made a big mistake. I missed a fatal point. Let's see. Wardrobe, armor, torso. Let's see if I broke it or not. Okay, luckily I didn't. But before you save anything, or before you delete anything, you should go into the actually restore figure pose. Restore figure pose. Actually, before you do anything, go to the joint editor, right click, memorize, memorize figure rigging, or you can also, so that the whole thing is actually saved onto the model for next time. Do this basically after you've so when you deleted all the bones, when you say, okay, I'm deleted all the bones, I don't need to add anymore, I don't need to delete anymore, this is the point where you basically just save the figure rigging or memorize the figure rigging. Okay, yeah, as you can see now, we have much smoother movement. Yeah, basically we can see much quicker when the whole thing is clipping or moving out of proportion and stuff, mostly. And remember, you can always basically just counter the thing by going into the pauldron. And resetting, basically countering whatever you did with the figure. So basically, if my twist here is minus 5.9, then I'm going to the right color and setting this to plus 5.9, so that that is basically in the base twist. You can do this with all kinds of clothing. This is helpful with some skirts as well, but this is basically how you partially rig clothing. The important part is that you actually do the weight map painting, because otherwise you will have a lot of clipping and a lot of stiff parts that you don't want to be stiff. That's it for today. Thanks for watching and see you guys around.